Hi. Hello, welcome. I don't really know how to start these yet. I have not figured that part out. My name is Rebecca. This is Beck Stitches Everything, channel mostly about cross stitch. This is my second Flosstube video. It's been about 2 weeks since I posted my first video. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. I'm kind of overwhelmed. No, I'm not kind of. I'm overwhelmed with just the sweet response I got to my first video. People that watched, liked, commented, subscribed to my channel. I think I'm a little more nervous this time with the second video, and I was definitely nervous in my first video, but I think when I was filming that first one, I kind of had in the back of my mind that I might not post it. And even if I posted it, the odds were good that really no one was going to watch it besides maybe my mom. And my mom did watch. Hi, Mom. And my dad. Hi, Dad. Yeah, when I posted that first one, I almost deleted it immediately. And then I just left it alone. And people did watch. And you all have been so kind. I think there's no other way to describe it. I am just blown away. I've been a long time watcher of cross-stitch videos, Flosstube, and I think as an observer, I felt like the community was really welcoming and supportive. I mean, we have stitchers in the Flosstube community that are all age ranges, people from all over the world, people with really, really varying tastes in designs that they like, and it still feels like there's room for everybody. Or that's what it seemed to me as a viewer. And now, after putting myself out there and doing that first video, I can tell you that is 100% true. Everyone was just so nice, welcoming. I have a few people that I want to thank specifically for giving me a little bit of shout out on their videos. I think I finally have all the verifications set up correctly so that I can do external links in my description. I'm going to try to do that this time. We'll see if I'm still figuring all this out for sure. But I just want to say thank you. I had to make notes this time too, so I'm looking down a little bit. Yeah, it's been really super fun already, and I'm just looking forward to making more videos. I'm back for another one and interacting with all of you more and just getting involved more in this community. It's just such a wonderful group of people. So thank you. I did want to specifically thank a few channels that mentioned me on their YouTube videos. I'm still trying to figure out kind of how the notifications work on YouTube, so I hope I don't miss anybody. But I wanted to thank Stephanie and Allison from Cross Stitch the Globe for mentioning me in their recent video. Also, Wicked Cat Stitch, Enchanting Stitching, and Stitch Roadie. Thank you all so much for talking about my channel and linking me and encouraging me. If you found my channel through someone else's YouTube channel that I did not mention, if you would leave a comment and let me know how you found my channel, I would appreciate that, because I would like to thank them and watch their videos and subscribe to their channels as well, and just, you know, keep building that community and interacting with people. So I would appreciate that if you could do that for me. If you watched my first video, which was a whip parade, you might notice that my background looks different today. The books they're still back there for sure, but my channel name is Beck Stitches Everything. I mentioned in my first video that I'm a multi-crafter, or have been a multi-crafter all through my life, and I've been kind of digging through project bins and going through some things. I had the intention of cleaning and organizing it. I just made a bigger mess, basically, is what happened. But I found this, which is a quilt top that I made. I can't remember when I started it. It took quite a few years of stitching on and off, It is English paper piecing, so it's all hexagons that I cut from various fabrics. And then I used little pieces of paper, if you're not familiar with that method of quilting, hexagon shaped paper pieces that you would like cut your fabric, fold it down, either like press it, maybe lightly glue it, hand baste it, and then you just whip stitch these hexagons together by hand. So this took a lot of time for sure. It's one of those projects that once you got your hexagons kind of set up, the process of it feels a little bit similar to cross stitch, like that meditative, you're just stitching the pieces together. And if anything, it's probably a little more relaxing because you're not worrying about changing colors or counting stitches. You're just picking your next little hexagon, stitching them together. So I'm happy with the size that this top is. It's a good size for like a queen size bed. It still needs to be quilted and then have the binding applied. And I think since I took the time to hand piece this entire thing, that I would like to hand quilt it as well and do the binding by hand, which will take a lot of time. It will take time away from cross stitching, so I don't know when that's gonna happen. But I love, like, you know, just every little different fabric in there. It's just fun. I would absolutely do one of these again. I kind of want to do one in all Liberty of London fabrics, but we'll see. So my thought with this is, now that I want to quilt it, I need to pick a backing fabric, you know, layer it, baste it. I've thought I could get out my of like a quilting hoop stand, and maybe if I just get it all set up and have it just set up permanently, then I might put some stitches in it here and there during the day. You know, and every little bit kind of adds up over time. And I'm at the time in my life, or the point in my life, where I can do that. Just kind of have that set up. Like, I don't have little kids running around. Our dogs leave stuff alone for the most part. I have a little bit of a story about that, why that's not true. That comes from today. But I think I could like leave this set up in a room and just have it ready to go and do some quilting on it. So I thought I would use this as a backdrop for today, but the books will come back. They'll be back soon, probably in the next video. So yeah, so that's that one. Today's format's going to be a little more kind of like your standard Flosstube, where we have like finished objects, works in progress, some starts, some plans, a little bit of haul. I'll save that to the end because I know not everyone likes the shopping part of it. I have water. I have Diet Coke again. I've had a lot of caffeine already today. And once again, I'm kind of playing a game of chicken with fairy pickup time for my husband. So that was kind of fun last time, to like watch the clock and do all that. My first video was really long. I didn't really think that I could talk that long. I'm super introverted, so it was surprising to me that I was able to blab onto myself for well over an hour about cross stitch. So I don't think today's video will be as long. You'll already know if you're watching this. I personally like watching long Flosstube videos. I like just kind of putting that on in the background, having a snack, having like a cup of tea or coffee, or if it's nighttime, maybe a glass of wine, and like have my stitching out. It feels like you're stitching with a friend and just talking about their projects. So I enjoy that. I'm going to try to kind of let me know what you prefer as far as length of videos. I think today won't be super short, but maybe also not like feature film length video. We'll see. We'll see. I do have some finished objects, some things that I've completed before I started my YouTube channel, and I thought it might be nice to kind of like weave some of that in, like here and there in the next few videos, just to, so we have that mix of like finished things, things in progress. So the items that I pulled out to share today are fully finished objects. They are from this booklet. the Prairie Schooler. It is number 156, Boo to You. And I have completed all 8 of the cover photo items. I said in my last video that Halloween is a lifestyle, not a holiday. I like that a lot of you like that. So I have wanted for a long time to have a full-size Halloween tree, and that is happening this year. I've got it picked out. I just need to buy it and order it. So these little ornaments really spoke to me. I've got a stack of 8 here that I finished. I did all of these on witch linen. It's not the exact called for. I think the called for color is, let me look. I don't know if it shows. I think it's lamb's wool, which is like a pretty neutral color of theirs. And I think that what I had was antique lamb's wool. So my fabric is a little bit darker. Everything is called for except the orange I changed out because they called for 301. I don't know if dye lots changed, but for me 301 actually looks pretty brown. So I picked a different orange that I think matches a little more closely the cover photo. I can't remember which number it is though. I don't know if I could figure it out, maybe with my DMC card. So these were really quick little stitches. Again, on the witch linen, it's just a handful of colors, and I think it's 32 count. So I love this one, which is like the kind of little vintage looking cat. Got the owl. So I stitched all of these, cut them, and then the finishing is just corrugated cardboard, like an old Amazon box that I cut to the correct size. And then I used cotton quilt batting. I think I put 2 layers because it's the really low loft batting that I had. And then wrap the fabric around, and then it's backed in black felt with a pinking edge. I bought a pinking blade for my rotary cutter, so that made that really easy to get that super straight. And then the felt, I got it off Amazon. I think I tried to get wool felt. It's probably a blend. I don't know if it's 100% wool. And then just, again, little ribbons that I got off Amazon. So I've got 8 ornaments ready to go. The skeleton for my Halloween tree when it gets here. I don't know what else I'm gonna, I have to think a little more about like other ornaments I want to fill in. I probably will do like just maybe some ribbons, some glittery ones. I have a few blown glass Halloween ornaments that look sort of vintage that I'm going to probably work into it. So whenever I get that set up, I'll make sure to share it. Okay, next up, I never went back and counted the amount of whips that I showed you guys in my first video. I'm not sure what the number was. I did not make a ton of progress on most of those in this last 2 weeks. I've worked on a few stitch along things, but really I got super distracted and went down a weird rabbit hole with these little tiny Mill Hill kits. So I wanted to show you, these are not fully finished yet, but they're like finishes for now. I have stitched, and this is where the dog story comes in, 12 in the last few weeks of these little Mill Hill ornament kits. I have 11 here to show you because as I was like in and out of this room today and kind of getting set up to make this video, I had the door open unattended for a little while. Did not notice that the dogs had been in here, and then went downstairs to get some water, which I'm gonna drink right now, and saw a little something on the floor downstairs, some foreign object, bent down, picked it up, and what it was a little bit of like a quarter size scrap of paper with floss and beads on it. It's what was remaining of ornament number 12 that I stitched. So I have 11 to show you. Ornament number 12 is inside one of my dogs right now. So that will be a restitch and a rebuy. It said it was a really cute one. So I have these that I've done. I'm gonna cut them all and finish them into ornaments. I want to get like one of those little kind of iron ornament trees to hang. I think I'll put it in our kitchen. We're having our kitchen redone in the next month or so. But I would like to have like one little area where just kind of switch out seasonal things. And I've just been buying these and been very haphazard in the order that I'm buying them, stitching them. They're really cute, and I thought they were all cute, which is why I bought them. But then when you actually stitch these, you realize the cover photos do not do these justice at all. So I'll just kind of quickly show you, like, this is the bee. I also love that people, you know, asked for more bee updates. I'll film some soon. Maybe in the next video I'll show them. I did a hive inspection a few days ago. They're doing great. I don't feel like I'm competently finding the queen yet, but I can tell that it seems like I have twice as many bees as I started with. So someone's making more bees. So I think we're good. They look healthy. They're really, like, I wear the veil and I wear gloves. I don't use the smoker. I have not done that yet. They're pretty docile. They seem happy. I think it's a good sign. They're pretty chill little bees. I think they're maybe starting to recognize me as the person that comes out and feeds them sugar water every day. This is like the little autumn one. And even on video, I'm not sure. Some of these, you'll look at the cover photo and none of them are hard. Like, I can do one of these, you know, and I can do like the cross stitch part in an evening easy, and then the beading in a second evening. So I'm kind of just like knocking these out, but sometimes it's a little deceiving in the cover photos. Like, they have a lot more beads than you might think they actually do. This one with I'm going to try to get a board by next video. The little tree on top. And the witch's cauldron. And this one especially had so much more beads than you would think based on the cover photo. And all of these up here glow in the dark. They're just so cute. The little mushrooms. And this was the first one I did, my husband's. Even though he has high cholesterol, he is he's bacon obsessed. That's like his favorite food. So yeah, we had to do the bacon and eggs. It's cute. The ice cream sundae. This one had the longer bugle beads in it, which are so cute. It's a little, I think I might do another video at some point when I finish more of these. The perforated paper is kind of a different stitching experience. With this size, I kind of just hold it like, almost like my fingers like scissors. I think I try to just kind of hold the stitching this way. It's a little annoying when you're pulling your floss through it. Oftentimes will get like hung up on a corner or like that kind of rough edge of the paper. I feel like I'm kind of developing this like weird dipping motion so the thread doesn't get caught, which I'm going to get like their carpal tunnel syndrome or a really weirdly overdeveloped wrist muscle. Oops. So we've got the popcorn one. And the thing that I've learned about these kits, I think Amazon's here. My dog's gonna bark. That's Emma. Maybe we'll show her in another video. Is the supplies you get in the kit. You get needles, you get beads, you get all of it, you get the paper. I have found that I've had plenty of extra. Let's see if she stops. Of floss and beads every time I've done one of these. The thing that they don't give you tons and tons of extra of is the paper. So like on this one, oh my gosh. She'll get going and then the neighbor's dogs will get going and then everyone's going to join in. I've done center starts on all of these and I've just kind of eyeballed it. So just FYI, if you do these, like especially this one, I haven't gotten to a situation where I've accidentally like would have had to stitch past my margin, but I've come pretty close, so just know on these, you have plenty of extra materials, but not necessarily tons of extra paper. Like, that's one thing to keep track of. So that's 11 of those. I also have, oh, another thing that's helpful in these, because you do have to sort your floss, and you'll have some where you have like light orange, medium orange, dark orange, which I mean, I think you can probably figure out for the most part, but I've been using, like, I have this, the DMC, because it gives you the DMC numbers too. And I love, like, this thing has been worth its weight in gold doing all those projects, because I can just like confidently match the number to the card and know that I'm using the right color. Which I guess if it's that hard for you to tell, if you're like off, it's probably not gonna make a difference anyway. But I have like, it's not completely full of those, but I have like quite a few more of these in a bag. Like, and it's so bad because, like, that's cute, she's adorable, but every single one of these, you get the little package, and then when you open it up, on this inner flap, they always have like 5 other ones. So I feel like every single one of these that I get, I'll look at the back and be like, I didn't know there was a scooter. I need the scooter. So I have a lot. But these are just great. Like, they travel well. I can stitch them in the car. The perforated paper is a 14 count Ada equivalent. You're using 3 strands of floss for the cross stitch part, usually 2 for the beading. I also feel like it's been kind of good practice. Like, I'm getting used to beading, so it makes the whole Mirabilia beading part seem a little less intimidating to me. But yeah, they're quick. It's like that little dopamine hit you kind of need sometimes. Just like, start a project, do it, finish a project, and they're adorable. So I'm excited to make more of these. Those will keep happening. So that was all my finishes that I was going to share. I will share some other things that I finished pre-Flosstube in a future video. As far as whips, so from what I showed you last time, I think I only worked on 3 of those projects in the last 2 weeks. The first one is, again, in this lovely bag, the Lola Grow Cross Stitch Deadly Aquarium style. We had the first exhibit got released. Let me see. So he's still there, and I wasn't the first one. Somebody beat me. All summer I have Fridays off work, which is like really a nice perk after crazy overtime during tax season. So the clues come out on Friday. I think the next one comes out tomorrow. And I really wanted to like just knock this out super fast. Somebody else was the first one to post, so they had theirs finished. I miscounted somewhere in here the first time, so I had to rip out about 20 or 30 stitches and redo them. But he's like the cutest little eel. I don't know what part he played in the demise of that poor diver, but he's adorable anyway. So yeah, so far I'm keeping up with this one so far. Super happy about it. Can't wait to see what the next little exhibit is that she shares. Second stitch along, still in the Q snap. This one is the Pollinators Cell. This is in Praise of Pollinators by the Blue Flower. You can see me through it. So Laura of Lala D Stitches is hosting the stitch along for this. She's divided the pattern up into, I think, 7 chunks, and then we have a month to do each. I'm not caught up. I think the new clue or the new assignment will come out either today or tomorrow. I think in my whip parade I only had the B part done, so I've added a little. I'm still behind, but this was really the kind of the biggest central piece of the pattern, so I think I can get caught up. This is on a 40 count, 1 strand over 2, all DMCs so far. I think this one has a few special flosses in it, but I haven't used any of those yet. So I keep working on that one tonight since it's already all set up. The next, not really a stitch along, kind of, that Megan the Seattle Stitcher and I have been working on is a Thea Gouverneur kit. This one is Still Life with Flowers and Glass Vase. This one is an 18 count black Aida. 1 strand over 1 is what the instructions call for, which is what I'm doing because I don't want to run out of floss because I'm already kind of a little crazy with the floss. These are interesting. I don't think I showed this last time. This is how your flosses come on these cards, and there's, what, 5 of them? I kind of just like drape these over the back of the couch while I'm working on them. You really have to pay attention with these because you'll have, they don't give you the DMC equivalent number. You just get symbols, and you can have, like, you know, that shaped triangle or that shaped triangle next to each other in the pattern. So I am highlighting this thing. It's 11. I think the chart is, I'll show it, not that you could actually like screenshot this and stitch from this. I think it's 11 pages. I'll just show the back. And they're not like 8.5 by 11. They're like kind of like legal size paper. And I've finished, I think, 1/4 of 1 page at this point. So I did show, I know I showed this on my Whip Parade last video. And at that point, I think Megan and I both started center, but I'm going center and like kind of down and right, and she, I think, is going up and to the right or up and to the left. I'm not sure. So we kind of started like kind of in the same section. And this is what I think I had like this much done. I'm going to try to take pictures at the end of this video so I can kind of try to track that better for future. So I think I had that much done last time, and I've added that. This section in here, I mean, you can kind of see where it looks all white. That's probably at least 7 different shades of like white, cream, beige, grayish tinted white, greenish tinted white, lavenderish tinted white. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep track of. And I was really happy to get out of just a white and move into green, except I was doing it at nighttime. Even with my nice reading lamp, trying to do dark forest green on black 18 count Aida. It's kind of painful. So not tons and tons of progress on this one. I think also last time when I showed it everything like just kind of like folded up like this. I'm gonna see if I can fit in frame. But what I think I didn't like, this is the piece of fabric for this project. Can you see this? I can see right through it and see the quilt. Can't really see me, but I'm 5'7" for reference. This is huge. It's huge. But it's pretty. It's gonna be, it will be gorgeous 20 years from now when I finish it, maybe. I'm trying to do a Thea Thursday where I'm trying to work on Thea Gouverneur kit projects that I have on Thursday. That was the one I worked on last week. I probably will work on it again today. Maybe. I have a Lady in the Unicorn that I want to restart. I have a couple other of hers that I have not started yet, but I'm trying to kind of hold back on starting new things right now until I get a little more progress on some of these other projects. So I think that was, as far as whips go, that was everything that I showed last time that I have since worked on. I have a couple of things that I started this week that are not quite finished, and they're like very different ends of the spectrum as far as style. So as I picked the name of my channel because Beck Stitches Everything, because I multi-craft, and even within cross stitch or knitting or whatever, I have a wide variety of patterns, designs that I'm drawn to. like with cross stitch, I like everything from like really, really kitschy cute project stitch on Ada all the way up to super intricate reproduction samplers on really fine count fabrics. Like, I like it all. I want to stitch it all. I think probably mostly I'm a process stitcher. Like, I like enjoy just the action of doing it in cross stitch, but ultimately I do want to have a finished product to enjoy and look at. So one pattern designer that I've been drawn to but had not yet stitched from is Soda Stitch. And I think the main thing was the patterns are adorable. They're super cute. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, like, what am I going to do with that? Like, I'm probably not going to frame these super cutesy little photos and hang them on my wall. And then watching some other floss tubers and people stitching project bags, which is something that I want to try to do soon, I thought that's the perfect solution. Like, you can stitch these small little pieces, these cute pieces that you don't want to necessarily hang on a wall, and turn them into a panel for a project bag. So I downloaded a couple of her patterns. The one that I'm starting with, it's from, I don't know what the name of the pattern is, but they're kind of like the pinup ladies. They're like super cutesy. And this is on a Zweigart linen. It's got the white paint dots. It's a 32 count. She's got her little like Cosmo or Martini. Yeah, so I think there's 4 or 5 of them in this pattern. I'd like to stitch these individually and then do, I think, frame them with fabric for a front panel of a project bag, and then attempt sewing some project bags. I'm sure I will practice on something that's not stitched before I like just dive in and do that. But I know Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch has some really good tutorials on her channel that I want to try out. So these are cute and fun, and it's one of those projects that I can do in the evening when the light's not ideal. I think these have a fair amount of back stitch, so that part will take me a little while. And then the next thing that I started, again, Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, who influences me constantly, had mentioned, I think in her most recent Flosstube video, a blog called, I'm gonna look it up now, make sure I get it right, Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. I'll try to link it below if I can figure that out. Her blog is adorable. She's cute, cross stitch, quilting, just home decor, and the amount of free patterns that she has on her blog is staggering. Yeah, just blows my mind the amount of stuff she's giving for free. So I had, this one is called, to my notes, the Molly Williams Homestead. It's kind of that Americana, patriotic, salt box house. I think in her pattern, she calls for a 14 count Ada. I am doing this on a 36 count. It's a Zweigart linen. I can't remember the color. It's just like it's basic tan. I'm doing it 2/1 in the call for DMC colors. So mine will end up, I'm doing a pillow finish like she did, and it will be a little smaller than hers. I started this is back to my dilemma with 36 count linen, is I did 2/1 and I got kind of about halfway through the top of this house and then started questioning myself, wondering if I should have done 1/2. I like it. I don't feel like my stitches are crowded at all. I have really good coverage, I think, and I like that. I think what I was questioning was just the style of pattern, if it would look a little better with kind of a more faded look, sort of a more primitive or vintagey look, like a faded look. And so I almost stopped and restarted, but stop overthinking everything. This is a little project, so I'm gonna just finish it because it's small, and I'll probably do more from her blog and maybe try 1/2 and see if I like that better. Ultimately, they don't you know, even if they all go on display together, they don't need to match exactly. I'm not worried about that. I did also buy, it's kind of like a preview of haul stuff, like a set of the Sulky 12 weight spools that I want to try out. I've heard that a strand of that is a little more like 1.5 strands of DMC, so I think that might be like a sweet spot for me with 36 count. I don't think they have as big of a color range as DMC, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but I would like to play around with that and just kind of try those out and see what I think about those on a 36 count linen. So hopefully by next video, maybe we'll have that one finished, maybe not fully finished, but yeah. So that's it for starts. Plans. All of these are subject to change. I feel like Mira May and Manny May were kind of a fail for me. 100% my fault. I got distracted by these stinking Mill Hill kits, and I was obsessed with those and making one of those like every night or every other night. So I didn't have a lot of progress or any progress since my last video on Mirabilias that I had started. Nothing new on the Carolyn Manning projects. I still want to work on all of those. So I think in June, I would like to pick up those, even though it's not really like, you know, the hashtag schedule for them, but I want to keep progress on those. So that was a question I had for you. What's everyone doing in June? May seemed like it had tons of stitch alongs. We had Manning May, Mirabilia May, Mania, where you start a ton of things. There's more that I'm sure I'm missing. I have heard of, I think, June Dog. I don't know who's hosting that one where it's Long Dog Samplers. I think I would like to join that one. I need to look up who's hosting it. I would like to get some progress on variant of interest and maybe even start Pandemic, maybe. There's a Strawberry Moon Stitch-a-thon that Marjorie Maid is hosting. I definitely want to join in that. I have a few strawberry projects that I'm considering for that. I haven't made any final choices yet about what I might want to work on. In general, I think just want to make more progress on the things that I've already started, particularly the Artsy Housewife projects that I've started, because I have a couple more patterns of hers that I want to start, but I'm trying to hold myself back from starting those until I've like either completed at least one or made decent progress on the ones that I've already started working on. So yeah, let me know in the comments what are you doing in June? What's everyone's plans for June? I would love to join in on some more stitch alongs. Even if I don't keep up with it, I really like that. It just feels fun to feel like you're participating with everyone else and stitching on similar projects or like themed projects. So that's kind of the loose plans for June. June's typically pretty slow for me for work, so I think I might get a lot of stitching in. I don't really have any plans of going anywhere. Yeah, so just let me know in the comments. And so the last part of this video is haul. So if you don't want to see that, it's not tons of stuff, but if that's something that you don't want to watch, thank you so much for watching this far, and I hope you'll join me in a couple weeks when I post my next video and we can continue our cross stitch conversation. So haul, I got 2 new project bags off Etsy, both from the 805 Stitcher. I think I mentioned that in my last video that I had I have multiple projects shoved in multiple Amazon bags, so it's like I'm calling it a housing crisis as far as my whips. So I'm like, I either need to finish things or buy more project bags, and you can see what happened. I love her bags. These took a little bit of they had a little bit of a journey to get to me. I think she ships from Southern California. I'm in the Seattle area. So I watched on tracking. They went all up the California coast. They were in the Seattle Postal Service Distribution Center. Next day, they're in Omaha, Nebraska. They took a detour and then went back through Denver and eventually made it to me. So they're here and they're perfect. I don't know what's going on with USPS. And then the other piece of haul that I wanted to show, it's going to be in this kind of loud bag. I went down to Portland this week to see my daughter, who's 20, and we, on Tuesday night, went to the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert up in Ridgefield, Washington, which is just across the Oregon-Washington border. So Portland and Vancouver, Washington are kind of sister cities. Vancouver, Washington is just on the other side of the Columbia River from Portland. And then in Ridgefield, which is a bit north of Vancouver, they have an outdoor amphitheater. And she got us tickets to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I drove down Tuesday, met her at her apartment. And we went and had dinner before we went to the concert. And then traffic was terrible. And then traffic getting into the venue was nuts. So we missed both opening acts. I don't even know who played. We got into the venue. I jumped in line for the merch booth. She had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, just go to the restroom, go in, let me know if anything's starting. The t-shirt line took forever, so I missed like the first 2 songs of Red Hot Chili Peppers too. But the show was great. We had a great time together, and then it took us over an hour to get out of the lot to leave. So I think we got back to our apartment at like, I think we were asleep by like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a late night. And then Wednesday, we've been dealing with some ongoing car saga. It's a long, stupid, boring story, but like basically getting her car re-registered in her name in Oregon, emissions testing, blah blah blah. So we wasted half of Wednesday trying to deal with that kind of stuff, and then we were both just over it. And we were driving kind of back towards her apartment. She's like outer suburbs, and I realized kind of where we were, and I asked her, I said, do you want to go to a cross-stitch store? She's like, there's a cross-stitch store? Like, she thought I meant Michael's or Joanne something. I'm like, no. We were within a mile of Acorns and Threads. So she went along with me very willingly, very sweetly. I went in and got to spend some time in Acorns and Threads, doing some shopping. And right at the front, they had rounders set up with patterns that were released, I think, this year at Nashville Marketplace. And she walked in, we were in the store less than a minute, and she went to this and she said, that's really cool. She loves that green, that lime green color. And I said, if I stitch this, will you hang it in your apartment? Absolutely. So I'm going to make this for her. I don't know, again, it will take some time, but that's going to be a project for her. So we were just browsing. I picked up this from Plum Street Samplers. I love all these little, like the little stacked animal patterns. I just grabbed the chicken one. That's my next animal livestock goal, is I want chickens. Our house actually came with a chicken coop, so we have the full setup out there. I just feel like I need to learn a little bit more about them before I don't know, go down that path. They're probably easier than bees, honestly. And then after that, it will be little goats. I also picked up a Lindy Stitches, one of her airmail bird. I think we're kind of in like the patriotic-ish time of year, so this felt right. I also realized that we're coming up in the next couple of years on the 250th birthday of our country. I was born in the year of the 200th birthday, just how I know that. So yeah, so I'm just browsing, wandering. My daughter, it's like, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. She was in there for probably a minute, and then I think I blacked out. Because by the time she got out of the bathroom, I had this and all the flosses for it in my hands. Like, the woman working there is like, we have baskets. And I'm like, balancing this and all of this. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to hold it in my hands because that's how I restrain myself and keep that's how I know when I'm done shopping, when I can't hold it anymore. So I'm doing it. Consider the lilies. This is happening This is massive. The model that's the cover photo of this pattern hangs in acorns and threads. It is gorgeous. It's done on a 28 count, so it's absolutely huge. I think it must take a full yard of fabric. I want to do it on a 40 count. I looked a little bit at the fabrics they had in the store and nothing was grabbing me. There were a couple that were possibilities, but they didn't have big enough cuts because I think I still need at least 27 inches wide just to have enough margin. So I need to buy fabric still. If you have stitched this or have kitted it or have plans to stitch it, let me know what fabric you're using, or if you've seen someone else's and they had a really pretty fabric choice, maybe like comment and let me know. I mean, this is going to take forever and it's going to be definitely like an heirloom piece, so I want to be really thoughtful about what I pick. I mean, I guess I could just try to find the called for fabric and color in a different count, but I don't know. That's where my dilemma is right now. So that's it. I think we kept this less than an hour. I'm gonna see if I can do this without editing anything. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope to be back in a couple of weeks again, with some more updates, maybe some more new starts. We'll share something else from my finished pile. But yeah, that's it. Bye for now. Thanks, guys.